Okay, so it's getting a bit dark, so we'll see how we go. I tend to go for walks at this time when the sun's going down, and I like to share that with you because I know many people are inside. Hopefully, the light holds for a little while for us, and my glove back on, it's pretty cool, and hopefully, it's not too dark for you. Just want to share the nature with you as well, not just looking at me. So I might turn the phone around while I'm talking so you can just enjoy the walk with me. Have a bit of a walk and talk, as they say. So I wanted to talk about Pluto in retrograde. So, and how that relates to power particularly, and how that relates to what's going on at the moment globally, all the changes. So Pluto is the god of the underworld. Pluto is a very powerful, disruptive, bringer of change, bringer of transformation at a very deep level. And we've got Pluto at the moment slowing down, going into retrograde. So we really have time to, amidst all the changes, to really take some time to really see what's going on, both within and without. So it is a really good opportunity to really, externally take a look at what's being brought to light, and seek out information, seek out the truth. Internally, Pluto particularly relates to power. That's one of the things it strongly relates to. So I feel one of the themes that's showing up for me at the moment is, and that I wanted to particularly talk about, is I feel one of the things that's coming to a head is around power and authority, and how we have been conditioned to give our power away to the authorities, to the experts, and how that's really not working well, because there's a lot of abuse of power and corruptions and corruption. And when we give our power away and our authority away, well, we're disempowered. And I think we've really been trained and conditioned to do that. And we have an opportunity now to make some changes around how we relate to power and authority. And perhaps to, ask some questions, to find some transformation around how we relate to power and authority, and to find a new relationship with power and authority. We actually have an opportunity to take back our power where we've given it away. So I think in this retrograde, in this slowing down, it's a great opportunity to have a look perhaps at areas where we may have given away our power. And I think that the world is very much set up like that, in a structure of a structure that's designed to be a power over hierarchy. And so we have an opportunity to have a look at that, have a look how that's working for us, a system where we've been conditioned to, in my opinion, to give away our power and authority to others, to the government, to experts, and how they may have abused that power, how they may be abusing it now. And that's my opinion. And it's not about my opinion, though. It's about that it's a time to examine your relationship with power and authority. It's a great time for this. Have a look at where you feel in your power in your life, and that you have authority in your life, and where you don't. and begin to look at ways that we can change this. And I'm seeing changes with this. I'm seeing that this is important at the moment, that the government has in some ways increased their perception of power over the people, and is that true? Where's our power in this? So I think these are important questions to be asking at the moment. Some people may feel that they have no power at all, and I think a situation where much of the world is in lockdown and governments have made decisions that are being enforced to greater and lesser degrees that are affecting everyone. And it's important to ask important questions about what's your power in this situation? Who has the power in your life? Is the government the ultimate power in your life or not? Do they make all the decisions for you? Is that how it is for you? So some important areas to look at around power at the moment, I feel. So sort of weird, come back to see how that goes. It is getting pretty dark. Sort of weird not talking into the camera, but I do like to share that nature with you. And I'll continue to do that and keep talking into the phone as well. See which way is lighter that way, I think. So yes, I think this is a really good opportunity for us to take a look at power, where we've given our power away, where we're continuing to give our power away to experts, to supposed authorities, and to ask who is the authority in our life? Are we the authority in our own life? Do we, who do you believe is the authority, has ultimate authority in your life? Is it God? Is it yourself? Is it the government? So we have an opportunity to ask some questions here and make some changes around power. I think some important reflections here, because the way that we see this is going to, affect our life and the world we live in, the world we're creating. And what I'm seeing collectively is that there's a sort of polarizing of people feeling uncomfortable and full of fear, and out of that really trying to maintain the status quo, because that feels more comfortable to the ego, to cling on to the status quo, to cling on to old ways of being, old structures and perceptions, even when they're not working anymore. So, I like to look at how you're doing that, if you are doing that, how that's working for you. And then the other side is, look at this area here, it's so beautiful. Just so nice to be out in nature. The birds and kangaroos sometimes at this time, being Australia, they come out. Might hear them in the bushes. Has its own sort of beauty here, a very raw sort of beauty, and I'm feeling a bit raw at the moment, so that works. Raw wild beauty. So I feel what I'm seeing at the moment is, there's a realization, perhaps an awakening to how much we've given our power to these outer authorities. Not for everyone. For some people, I'm seeing a waking up, and I'm feeling that myself, and looking at how I've helped to create this current situation by giving way too much power in my perception, in my thinking, to the government. And collectively we have done this. We've given them a lot of power, and we're giving them a lot of power right now. And many of us, not everyone, and beginning to look at how we can begin to take our power back. Take our power back to make our own decisions about our health, about our life. And, ways that we can do that, how we can come together and create the world that we do want to live in by getting in our power and saying, this is what I choose, this is my will, this is acceptable to me, this is not acceptable to me. So again, just coming back to the theme that I feel it is a really great time to examine thoughts about power, about the power, inner and outer power, where you feel disempowered, and do you want to change that? For me, I've been, not to just make it about myself, but sometimes examples help. So I've been looking at, getting to know my rights, because I realize, well, there's a saying that if you don't know your rights, you don't have any. And I'm being told by the government that I don't have a lot of rights in this current situation, and that may or may not be true. And actually, according to the Constitution, I believe that's not true. So I'm interested to learn more about that, learn more about my rights and exercising my rights. And to really take back my power where I've given it away. And that'll be different for each of us, how we do that. For me, joining with others and having a say, sending letters, sending emails, saying, it's not something I've done greatly. Sending letters, sending emails, saying, no, this is not acceptable to me. Saying, no, this is not, I get to have a say with this too. I get to have a say with whatever issues it might be, whether I'm vaccinated or not. I have the say over my body. So, that may or may not be an issue for you. I'm giving you examples. Issues of privacy are coming up, issues of surveillance. I feel at this point, as Pluto's slowing down, we have an opportunity to really to take back our power personally and collectively. And it's important to do that. I think that is an opportunity we have at the moment. And people see this in different ways. I think, we're seeing the world as we know it changing. And my sense is it's not going to go back to what we knew. Not going to go back to the world we knew. But it's like we're at a choice point. We get to be in no choice and follow along a particular path that is being laid out for us, or we get to choose to say, no, this is the path that I'm choosing. Maybe other options as well. It's about thinking about, how would your life change if you really took back your power in areas where you've given away. I'm seeing, for me, that feels really important to me at the moment, to find how I can really take back my power in a situation that I personally find very disempowering, to tell people they have to go into lockdown and have increasing police and fines, surveillance, and we've been conditioned to accept this. But and this is the opportunity of Pluto to find our choices, to find our power, and to stand in that, to really stand in our power. How would your life be different? How would your choices be different if you really stood in your power? I believe that's the opportunity of Pluto at the moment, that we have the opportunity to stand in our power, to know our rights, to stand up for what's important for us, or not. there's a choice here. I feel the way that I'm sensing it is a real polarity thing. I don't feel like there's a lot of middle ground with this. People may differ with that, but that's my sense of it. That either we go along with things, see how that goes, or we really take back our power and stand up, whatever that means for us, however we do that. And so things have slowed down with Pluto in retrograde, giving us an opportunity to really examine things, examine what's important to us, examine our values, examine our options, and think about our relationship, reflect on our relationship to power and how that's working for us. Because, we've all agreed to this on some level, and all the choices we've made have brought us to where we are now. And so it's an opportunity to keep going along that path or begin to make some new choices. And for me, I feel it's important to make choices, to make some really big changes. And I think it is an opportunity for us to do this, to make some really big changes, to reprioritize and to decide. It's getting dark out here. It's just how it is. It gets dark early. This is when I like to go for a walk. So there'll be a point when the video it's sort of weird, a video in the dark, but it may be talking about Pluto and power on the shadow and corruption. Somehow appropriate. I'll turn back in a little while and just want to cover the main points of the video. So I just love it out here. I love walking at this time, to be honest. They're really the main things I want to talk about. With Pluto in retrograde, that we have an opportunity to really, things have slowed down for many of us, or perhaps, in our homes, work may have slowed down, we may have more time. And now with Pluto in retrograde, there's an opportunity to really reflect on things, reflect on what's important to us, reflect on what we're seeing happening in the world, and what's working for us and what's not working for us. And two, if we decide to, it's an opportunity, I believe, to begin to make some really big changes, because that's what Pluto's all about. It really is about letting go of what doesn't work anymore and making some big changes. And it's a personal process and it's a collective process. And personally, I'm feeling very fired up about this. I've really had enough of my freedom being curtailed and being told what to do, and where that can go, I've had enough. And so I'm standing up. I'm standing up in ways I haven't stood up before, and that's shifting things for me. But it's a very personal process of what that means for you. And realizing that it's important to connect with others and to work together with this. So to be part of a major change in a positive way, it's about joining with others, working together and working for the change we choose together, asserting our rights, asserting our authority, our power, our will in a climate where our rights and power are being potentially eroded. So probably getting quite dark now. Sort of weird video in the dark, but yeah, sometimes life's like that. It's just what it is. It's somehow very appropriate. I'm sure not many people make videos in the dark, but we're talking about Pluto here, so yeah, somehow appropriate. So I'll leave you with that, and continue my walk and enjoy this beautiful time of the early evening, and take care. Thank you for joining me.